Let's start with the classic vampire, the bloodsucker of Romanian mythology. What do you know about vampires, Pete?
Um, well, we have a friend that is one, so it was on last week. If you don't know who it is, just go
Shout out
back
to
last week.
Vampire.
But yeah, I know nothing. Give me some of your Romanian folklore / mythology.
So apparently, like vampires, like the idea of a vampire has existed for like years before Dracula, but Dracula became the romanticized notion of a vampire. Basically, vampires were like essentially zombies in their original mythology. They were just undead creatures that like restless souls that come back and haunt the living, and usually they stalk loved ones and suck their blood, I guess, for their essence, or because they're lacking it because they're dead. You know what I'm saying? You always gotta get what you need. Some people get water, some people get alcohol, and I guess vampires get blood.
Some people get alcohol.
I mean, it's true. Can you blame them? If you didn't have any blood in you, wouldn't you want some? That's what I thought. And then,
I hate you.
and then one of Romania's heroes, I guess, national heroes, came. Vlad Tepes, Dracul.
Wait,
And
what? That's his name?
yeah, you thought his name was Dracula?
No. I thought it was Vlad Dracula or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, it was like something like Vladimir or Vlad Tepes Dracul
Interesting.
or maybe his name was Vlad Tepes and his father was Dracul, and Dracula just means son of Dracul. And I think, if my memory is correct, I think Dracul means dragon, so that's a cool name, son of dragon.
Son of dragon.
That's
Wouldn't
cool.
you want to? Wouldn't you rather be dragon though? Just saying. Just saying.
I mean, it's still pretty cool to be the son of a dragon.
Just saying. Okay.
And he was famous for his method of handling enemy soldiers. Pete's not very good with gory, gruesome details.
I'm okay.
So I'd rather not talk about it, because I've tried talking about it before with other people, and it just leads to a lot of awkward. Because it's not. Let's just say it's not a nice way to go. So. But in all fairness, I mean, they weren't the instigators; they were the defenders. So whatever, all's fair in love and war, as they say. And yeah, so Dracul became Dracula. And hence, because of his infamous way of handling threats, he became a vampire in mythology. And thus becomes the legend of Dracula.
Where's Transylvania? Isn't that like where his quote unquote castle was?
Yeah.
Romanian mythology, unless he's actually legit.
He is a real person, Pete. But Vladimir Tepes is real. Pete, he's not fake. He's a real person.
So then why did that whole thing with him being considered Dracula, a blood-sucking vampire, all that? Just give me a description of why that happened with like as little animation in your gore description.
Well, Vlad, like I said previously, in Eastern Europe, the concept of a vampire, like a blood-sucking, fang-having monster, kind of existed before him. And then he came along and did some stuff that involved pointy sticks and people. And you can imagine what he did with those pointy sticks.
Okay. I don't want to, but
there's a lot of the color red. Let's put it that.
Yeah, okay.
And then
normal.
I think in like the late 18th century or 19th century, there came the author Bram Stoker, and he wrote the Dracula.
18th century?
I think so. I forget when Dracula was written, but I believe the author was Bram Stoker, and Dracula was based off of Vladimir Tepes and the vampire myth, and there you go. Thus came Dracula, as we know him today.
Now that is interesting.
Vampires are cool because they're like they have superpowers.
Yeah, Hollywood makes them out to be super, like, what's it called? Like, the Hollywood vampire has like insane strength. Like, this is me totally exposing myself, but I absolutely watched the whole Twilight series, and I'm not afraid to admit it at all. So anyway,
I mean, it's okay if you watch it. It's just not okay if you liked it. That's a joke. That's a joke. You can like it if you want, audience. Don't worry.
Anyways, relax. So anyways, like in that depiction, for instance, and all other depictions of what's it called? Of vampires, they have like super strength, and they're super fast, and they can smell like unbelievable. It's like all their senses and abilities are enhanced, except they can't be out in the daylight.
Yeah. That's basically it. So basically, like, superpowers that vampires have is they have super strength, super speed. They usually have the ability to transform. So the most famous is obviously the
bats
bat.
and stuff.
They also, in some instances, they transform into mist. They transform into werewolves, or they transform into like a winged beast creature, like. Imagine like a devil goblin-esque creature, but like
I can't.
but not red.
I cannot.
Okay, well, our more creative audience can probably figure it out, or just Google search vampire, and you'll see a pretty, like, just imagine like a gray goblin with wings, and that's one of their transformations. Ew. They also have the power to like hypnotize you, so that's cool, and. I mean, I don't know. I think ever since its inception, vampires always cling on to like their loved ones, whether it's they haunt them or they love them. So that's cool. It's also, I mean, we'll get into your mythology soon, but like out of all like the stereotypical creatures like mummies, werewolves, zombies, Frankenstein, vampires are like the only ones that are like sentient, if that's the right word. Like, they're awake, they're not just a feral monster, which I think is pretty cool.
Well, we can discuss that. Actually, I let's discuss that right now before we get into me, because like a werewolf is a person that transforms into
a werewolf,
you know, like a right, like, but they're a person in their regular life.
I believe it's like lyanthropy. Like
lycanthropy, yeah.
Yeah. No, I know.
It's a Greek word.
So you should know it.
Well, yeah, I do know it, bro. That's why I just schooled you.
Oh, okay.
Shut up, Alex.
Okay, thank you.